So these people are just out all that money. And he wants a package deal of 2 years for everything.
Well, that's the maximum.
Do I look at Santa Claus?
That's the max you can receive, Your Honor.
Max you can receive.
You got a new case.
That 2 years on that as well. I mean,
I can stack them. That one and the others. I think the people would want to know why not. Right? He hadn't paid a dime, and so he wants a package on this. He can commit all these offenses, but all these offenses doesn't have to pay back any loss, and he packages them. The question is, what message do we send? The message that we're sending here is, if you're going to commit a crime, commit a bunch of them. Commit a bunch of them, and you get them all wrapped up in one little package. If you get caught, and if you're held accountable, 6 is equivalent to 1.
well, Your Honor,
Isn't that the message? Isn't that the message? Do you think that people think that's amusing? I don't think it. Victims do.
The other option is continue him on probation and see if you can make some payments between now and whatever set time in the future. And
Here's what I'm planning to do. Here's what I want to do. All these burglars on these motions, we'll put all that together, and 2 years on all of that to run concurrently. The other one, I'm putting him back on probation on the last one, and so he can pay $34,000, $722 to these people, and that would be a case where he starts probation, and hopefully he can do well. And if he doesn't, then this is a state jail felony, 2 over 5, and it runs with the probation, with the restitution. It's only right and fair. I don't understand we're not going to give a message. The more crimes you commit, the less you're held accountable. That defies logic. The people don't think that's reasonable. And y'all can do whatever you want, but I'm not going to. If y'all are going to do this, if you don't want to do it, we'll just deal with it separately, and we'll hold a hearing on it. And then I guess these sentences can be stacked, can't they?
then not the revocations, they have to be all right concurrently because they've pled that way, but the new case can be stacked on top. Yes.
It's only the right thing to do.
Do we want to set for an official formal hearing then, or
What do you want to do?
Well,
Yeah, it's y'all's choice.
I don't know if I don't think the state's offering probation on the new one. That's the problem. So I can't.
he hasn't paid anything since 2023 on that, Your Honor. I don't see where he's somehow going to then start paying on any other case.
Oh, no, but that's why we put him on probation for this other one. If he fails, he can go to prison. He can go to jail for another 2 years. It won't be stacked. It would run consecutive to these other things. If he does fine, he's fine. It pays it back. But if he doesn't, then you gotta have some hammer over it, and you can do it. You can do an additional 2 years on this last one. That's if you fail, but it's the right thing to do. You gotta pay these people back. You just can't come in and I'm not going to be the poster child for that. If you're going to commit one crime, commit 6, and we package them together. You have to be held accountable for each crime. Each person has a victim. Each person was a victim. Each person has their own worth and value and loss. You don't treat people like that. Like they're had it by the dozens. That's not the right thing. I'm not going to stand for that. What do you want to do? That's what we'll do. We'll get this thing.
I think we need to set it for a hearing next. I don't know if the state's going to agree to that. So we would, but I don't think the state would. So I think we just need to set it for.
What's wrong with the state's plan on that? You were going to put it all together, weren't you?
Just, well, we'll just, I mean, on the other one, Your Honor, if you want to, we'll, just end up trying it, I guess.
Why would we do that? Well, why not?
Because that can be stacked as well.
Why not? How else are we going to get money back for these people?
Well, I mean, I talked with the victims on these, and they explained that you ain't going to get blood out of a turnip, and
maybe
this individual is going to cost the county more money by placing him on probation and continuing to.
No, I thought the probationers paid for the fees. That's the way it's supposed to work. That's why the taxpayers don't get them. They have to pay fees, and if he doesn't pay his fees, and he could, then he gets revoked and goes 2 years.
I think we just set it for a hearing and let you make the decision. That way the states, they can stay with their position.
A hearing on what, John? The whole thing?
Yeah. On the revocation, I mean, if they're not willing to offer probation for that, if they're not offering it, then we can't accept it.
So nothing's been done today. I don't understand. I don't understand that. I mean, what's the state's plan?
Well, Your Honor,
I'm
I'm paid
confused.
$0 on the probation amount.
That's why he gets revoked, and we're going to add all of these to this new case and see what happens if he doesn't come through. Then he's got another 2 years.
He committed this new case while he was on probation
Yes,
for
sir.
the other, and I feel like he's going to do the exact same thing when he gets on.
Well, then
Probation.
then it would be it would run separately. It's not going to run concurrently with the other ones. It stands alone. He either rises or falls on his performance, and if he fails, then he gets another 2 years stacked on top of this collection of 2 years on this other one. That was y'all had made that deal. That's what y'all are running that concurrent. What I'm trying to do is it's a win-win for everybody if he pays back. If he doesn't, then it's still a win-win for the state. If he fails, come back and it could be revoked and he could be sentenced to an additional 2 years if you don't pay. But it's a way for the people to get paid back.
I think, Your Honor, another option we have is that he can plead true to this revocation date. You can revoke him. That's completely on your terms completely. And then we can plead open to the new one. And that takes the state out of it completely. That way they don't have to, they can make an argument with.
But I don't
It's up to
understand I don't understand why this doesn't make sense to the state to give the people opportunity. I mean, the probation or it sounds like y'all resolved that as he's going to get revoked and he's going to serve 2 years. But then all of that $34,722, that's lost. That goes down the toilet. But that's not what I want. We add this, we apply it to the new case and give him a chance to pay back. If he fails, then he will get another 2 years. He could be subject to another 2 years state jail. And I think he's tired of staying in jail. Man, I think he might be motivated to do something here.
Yes, sir.
That helps you and the people. Well, I don't understand why not. That thing. I mean, isn't that a win-win for y'all? He'll pick up a fifth conviction, and he does his time. He goes back and tries to pay back. If he fails, then he's back before me, and I think he gets a sense of my feeling about all of this. I expect you to work and pay these people back. So, in allegation 7, in each of these 4 motions, amended motions to revoke probation, number 7 similarly alleges that you failed to report to the Jefferson County Probation Office for the months of August, September, October, December of 2024, and January, February, March, April, and May of 2025 in violation of your probation order condition 4, which requires you to report monthly as directed. Is that, are those allegations all true and correct as they are alleged? So are you pleading true to those allegations, the same ones, number 7 in each case, true and truly and correctly, and because it is an accurate allegation?
Yes, sir.
So what happens is he absconded and you quit reporting. And then when were you arrested?
September 5th of 24.
You understand that one or more violations of probation proven true by a preponderance of the evidence or greater, that's all it takes to revoke your probation.
Yes, sir.
Your probation could be revoked and you could be sentenced up to 2 years in the state jail. No less than 180 days, up to 2 years in the state jail. Knowing that, do you insist on pleading true nonetheless?
Yes, sir.
In each case.
Yes, sir.
Is that enough for everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There are other violations, but you understand the consequences that can apply. You're voluntarily and knowingly made plea of true to absconding, that is not reporting for August of 2024 and each month through May of 2025, which is almost a year, a block of a year, is all that is required for this court to find by preponderance of the evidence or greater, if true, and that those allegations are true in each case, and that that is enough to revoke your probation, sentence you up to 2 years, no less than 180 days, up to 2 years in the state jail. Do you understand that thoroughly?
Yes, sir.
And you insist on pleading true nonetheless?
Yes, sir.
I find you are pleading true voluntarily. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading true here. There's no written agreement? Okay, what do parties want to say?
You know, for the record, my client does waive his right to appeal. That on the record, that's an issue.
I'm gonna have that signed if you
That's
don't
all,
mind
that's no
here
problem, yeah.
later on.
Yeah.
We'll memorialize that with a signature, okay?
But otherwise, we'd let the court decide much of the case. We've got a deal worked out where the new case will be getting probation, and we'll leave it up to the court to decide this punishment.
We'd ask for the full 2 years on this. I believe he's probably almost got time served on it.
You know how much, well, y'all know, you know,
Yes, yes.
14 months.
Almost 15. Oh, the prior.
He's got more than, I think he's got 14 months now currently with now, but he's also got time for 4.
We didn't have,
And have a whole when he was in,
we didn't have the warrant on the NTRP until.
Until January, I think, is whenever y'all MTRP'd me. I was in Orange County. Because y'all MTRP'd me.
Well, that's,
I'm back to the body left.
well, that just doesn't make sense.
Until September, okay.
That doesn't make sense because we filed motions to revoke probation in February of 24. The beginning, then there was a second amended, a first amended, then there was a second amended. So something had to have been done on that first motion. So you should have been held.
Yes.
So that ought to be,
right, he gets other time.
September.
He's had a bunch of different periods, various periods of time that added. It's not one continuous period of time, but yes.
you understand that's going to have to be calculated, but you will be given credit for all time I logged you have served in accordance with this matter. Did you want to add anything, sir, on that? Anything else? Then I find there is sufficient evidence supporting these second amended motions to revoke probation in each of these 4 cases to grant the motions by a preponderance of the evidence or greater in each case is allegation 7, failing to report to the probation office for a block of a year from August through May, August 24 through May of 25, and essentially the defendant absconded until he was finally arrested later on warrants because of the motions to revoke probation. And thus your probation is revoked in each of these cases. You were sentenced to 2 years in a state jail, probated for 5 years in each case. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the state jail for 2 years on each case to run concurrently on each of these 4 cases. Do you understand what has happened today? Then I have a new case, 24 CR 1681. Does the defendant waive a formal reading of this? Can we proceed in summary?
Yes, sure, please.
In summary, Mr. Millard, this indictment alleges that on or about February 12th, 2024 in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the state jail felony of burglary of a building. Do you understand what you're charged with here?
Yes, sir.
If convicted, you face no less than 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail, and a fine up to $10,000 can be assessed. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
It's similar to those other state jails in punishment. An agreement's been reached in your case where you would be pleading guilty, sentenced to 2 years in the state jail. That would be suspended. You would be placed on regular probation for 5 years. You would be ordered to pay restitution in the amount of $34,723. This is 2 cents. I've got a different figure on that, but it's right at that. I thought it was 34,722 and 93 cents. You're showing we're 9 cents off, but we're going to round that to $34,723. Okay, is that agreeable for everybody?
Check matters.
All right. There will be terms and conditions of probation which are normal and customary for this. If you fail, your probation could be revoked, just like that can happen. And then you could be sentenced to another 2 years, which just get these people taken care of. Do the right thing. It's just morally and legally the right thing to do. It'll make you feel better. But these people need to get paid back. We're going to go into the record, each of the victims and how much they owe. Did you do that, Miss Ma'am? Okay, I go on. I think we had a calculation for each one that we'll read into the record. So again, Mr. Millard, how do you plead to this indictment? Guilty or not guilty? Are you pleading guilty voluntarily and because you are guilty? So show you what's marked in State's Exhibit 1, John?
Yes.
Did you sign that document voluntarily, understand it, discuss it with your attorney, or the content officer incorrect? Yes, sir. State's Exhibit 1 tendered into evidence.
No objection.
Without objection, it's submitted. Among other things, this states you are mentally competent to enter your guilty plea. It's freely and voluntarily made. You know what you've been charged with. The indictment's been guilty, or you've read it. You were guilty of the crime charged and any lesser included offenses. You were giving up your rights to a jury trial and your rights to the appearance, confrontation, cross-examination of witnesses. You were totally satisfied with the representation provided by your lawyer. All true. It states so help you God. Yes, sir. States Exhibit 1, part of the record for all purposes. Pre-sentence report is waived.
Yes, please.
I'm going to follow this agreement, if nothing further, and find that you are pleading guilty, sir, voluntarily. You are mentally competent to do so. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading guilty. There's sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea. The State's Exhibit 1 admitted here to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I find you guilty now beyond a reasonable doubt of a state jail felony of burglary of a building. I am following this agreement. You were hereby sentenced to confinement in the state jail for 2 years. That will be suspended. You were placed on regular probation for 5 years. You shall pay a restitution in the amount of $34,723. And it will be in the following way. It will be $8,683.09 is ordered to the victim, Norbert Romero. And that was from an earlier case, 39761. Additionally, restitution,
17,700, Your Honor, from 0680.
$17,700 to Samuel Massey IV.
Yes, Your Honor.
The complainant out of 680. And then an additional amount of restitution will be $2,000,
Yes,
right?
Yes, Your Honor.
To
0681.
James Worthy from 23 CR 681. And
$2,633.34 from
$1,633.34
0682.
will be to Gordon Riccossa, RICOSSA, the complainant victim in cause number 23682. And then the only other one is
For this current case, Your Honor.
is Dale Rogers
Yes, sir.
in 1681 that you have pleaded guilty to, and that the other restitutions will be part of, and that's $3,706.59.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Which totals out to about $34,723. What I did. So your work is cut out. Do well on this, and it's the right thing to do. So pay these people back for their loss. So do you understand what has happened today, sir?
Yes, sir.